Hey ladies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. How you doing? So in today's video, we are tackling the subject of not being chosen. I understand for some people, it might cause some deep sense of hurt, knowing that you've poured onto people, you've chosen people, and you've shown love, yet people never do the same for you. We can say love yourself all we want. We can say choose yourself all we want, but that doesn't mean that feeling isn't there. We're going to acknowledge this feeling in this video. And I also want you to know that yes, we are acknowledging it, but at the same time, unfortunately, those people are right to say to choose yourself and love yourself and pour onto that hole that you feel is empty, because no one can fully fill that hole up but you. And if you ever let that hole get so empty, the minute somebody shows you an ounce of affection, you are going to be so desperate that you're going to ignore all red flags. You're going to jump to it and say, oh, I've been single for so long. Nobody has chosen me for so long. I've been desperate for so long. I'm just going to ignore and be, and that's a very dangerous position to be in. So let's go ahead and get into the stitches.
I feel like nobody talks about the triggering, traumatic feeling of being known, being seen, being loved, but not being chosen. There's a weight to that, and there's a grief and mourning that has to occur to really, I feel like, move on from situations like that. All of that love that you've been building for someone who ends up not choosing you where you thought it was mutual or not is hurtful. And you have to figure out what to do with that love. If you can't give to them, they don't want it. They won't accept it. They can't meet you where you're at. A lot of times people will kind of look and be like, what was it in me that you didn't choose me? But it's never really that at all. People are on their own paths and they have their own things. Everybody's getting through their own cycle. I think what it taught me is there's still a point to be seen and loved and known, even if you're not chosen. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned within that. But it's sad. It's really sad. And it can happen over and over again if you continue to put yourself in those situations. And then that comes to a point where it's like, it's not even the other person, it is you. And it's you allowing yourself in this cycle of not being chosen. And that's a mindset. It's opposite of abundance, just thinking you're never going to be chosen, right? People who have abundant mindsets always are chosen. They're the chosen ones, So I think it's all about mindset and just reflecting and understanding your cycle. What is your cycle? Everyone has their own cycle and pattern of what they need to get through. So if you've ever felt deeply known, deeply loved, deeply seen, but not chosen, give that love to yourself. Find a way to pour that love into yourself and express it to yourself somehow. Still let it out. Don't hold it in. Don't internalize it or become bitter. Not want to give your love anymore. It's just not your situation. It's not your journey. It's not a part of your story. It is a part of your story, but it's not the story, So everything happens for a reason, and we gotta listen. We gotta look at the poetry and understand why things are happening to us and what the message is and what we're supposed to be learning from the universe. So stay up.
It sucks to be the person who's never chosen. It's not even about wanting to be in a relationship. It's not even about wanting to sleep with everyone or do all these things. Not feeling desired does psychological warfare to you, because when everyone chooses everyone else except you, like the last kid being chosen for soccer. Why am I the last one being chosen? The common denominator is obviously me, and then it just makes you feel bad. People are like, oh, self-love this, self-love that. Yeah, okay, I do love myself. But it'd also be nice to feel desired by other people other than myself. Self-love is like freaking cauliflower wings. They taste good, they're delicious, they're nice if you want a crispy fried snack, but if you craving chicken wings, the cauliflower wings are not gonna cut it. They're gonna be good, they're gonna be alright, but it's not the same thing. I want to walk into a room and people will be like, oh, wow, that girl. But instead, I'm the person where people grow to like me. They're like, oh, she's so funny, she's so nice, she's so kind. People like me for my personality. I'm Mr. Personality, which is fine. Just saying, everyone get to experience all these different things, all these different experiences. Or when you're at the bar and everyone's flirting with everyone except you, and you're just standing there alone awkwardly, you have to go to the bathroom, What else are you supposed to do? No one's talking to you. Everyone's talking to everyone else. I don't know. Anyway.
A creator on here basically said, until someone says that they like you, they want to be in a relationship with you, take all their gestures as them being polite. I always tell people this. If you do not need the external validation for someone to confirm that you are attractive, you will always take someone's gestures towards you as them just being nice. You just having that type of privilege and abundance. You will never take it past that. That is something that people always be, oh my God, like he likes you. I'm like, oh no, I think he was just being kind. They're like, oh no, because I don't need that validation of that I'm attractive and that, there's someone out there, that there are people out there that want me. Attention does not mean we are together. Attention doesn't mean pursuing. That doesn't mean anything to me. You have to be upfront and direct. And I feel like because so many people don't have this happen to them every day, that when they do get the attention, they automatically want to solidify it, or they want to conclude it to be, oh, they're interested. No, they're being polite.
So I'm at this place in my feminine journey where I'm at a crossroads of grief and understanding. I'm realizing that the majority of my romantic experiences have been different forms of rejection or different forms of a lack of acknowledgement. And I'm coming into the realization that from a soul level, I was put in these situations or these phases not to ultimately end up being chosen or ultimately end up being acknowledged, but to realize that I never needed to identify with being chosen or being acknowledged in the first place. That when you are the love and you are the destination, the concept of being chosen or being acknowledged doesn't apply to you. You are the choice. You are the acknowledgement. You're the embodiment of it. And I'm really grappling with that because initially I felt a deep sense of grief because I felt like, Cardi B, what was the reason? What was the reason? Why would you make me want something, seek something my whole life, for me to come to find out that the rejection that I was experiencing and the lack of acknowledgement that I was experiencing was all I was ever going to experience, because that's all you ever asked me to experience, because you wanted me to realize that I exist as love without those things. It just felt like, damn, it felt like betrayal. It felt like betrayal. And now I'm understanding that if I'm not supposed to identify with these things, being chosen or being acknowledged, because I, as the embodiment, don't require that from others, where does my energy go? I don't think I've consciously realized how much energy has gone into wanting to be chosen or acknowledged in more ways than one by the masculine. And this is not even like romantically. This is like your relationship with the masculine. It could be your relationship with your father, or your relationship in a romantic relationship, or your relationship with money, or your relationship with work and jobs. You see what I'm saying? Or your relationship with how you communicate. Like, all of that is masculine energy. And there is a lot of my emotional world that wanted to be chosen and acknowledged by those things, whether it's on social media or, within intimate relationships. And so now I'm trying to construct a sense of self and an image that never needed those things as a Leo rising. And I'm at that crossroads. So I just wanted to share that for anybody who's going through a feminine journey. I think it's a meaningful crossroads. Like, initially I was upset just for like the first 8 hours of this understanding. I was just kind of like, y'all have wasted a lot of my time. But now I understand from a higher standpoint why I had to experience the phase and experience the depths of rejection and being ignored to realize that, I never needed the recognition in the first place.
If not feeling chosen or wanted when it comes to dating and relationships is a common pattern in your life, stick around, this one's for you. If you're new here, I'm Janine. I help you increase your self-love and your self-awareness so you can have amazing relationships and thrive in abundance in your purpose. Hit follow if you're ready to take your power back over your life and your relationships. If not feeling chosen or wanted by the person or people that you want and that you're choosing is a pretty common theme for you and you're ready to get rid of it, here's what you got to do. First of all, someone not choosing you does not necessarily mean that they don't like you, don't want you, don't love you. But what you need to do is take a look at what story you're telling yourself about what their decisions or their actions mean about you. Here's the most important key part. Where are you not choosing yourself? Where are you choosing something or someone else over and above yourself? Where are you putting other people first? Where are you not choosing your own happiness, your own health, your own well-being, your own desires? Where are you not choosing to know you're worthy, you're good enough, you're lovable, you're wanted, you're chosen? A disconnect from yourself can manifest as a problem, a circumstance outside of you that's eliciting enough emotion, enough discomfort to cause you to have to turn around and look at what it is you're neglecting and not choosing within you about you. When you choose you time and time and time again, you prove to yourself that you're someone who's worthy of being chosen, that you're someone who deserves being chosen, that you're someone to choose. It's a no-brainer. From that place, from that confidence, from that inner connection, you inspire and influence and magnetize that same energy back to you. When you choose you, you'll be able to see that other people are choosing you too.
I have come to realize that where you are desperate, that shit will come and bite you back in the ass. Being desperate for company, being desperate to not be lonely, that will come and bite you right in the ass. And that's exactly what has happened. I'm starting to realize that in a lot of some personal relationships of mine, that because I've had this inner complex of like not feeling like I will ever be understood, I've lived a lot of my life so far being misunderstood, not feeling worthy, having to perform and sacrifice to receive that back. I've realized that operating in that mindset has put me in company and with people that not only can sniff that out like a fucking hound dog, but will take advantage of that to the full fucking capacity. And that by doing that, I have been disrespecting myself. And when you go out of your way to disrespect yourself like that, it allows for others to feel like they can disrespect you too. And that's part of that whole grieving process. So, learn now or pay later.
Babes, I know this hurts. They had a right not to choose you. They had a right not to choose you, babes. No one is required to choose you, your feelings, your emotions, your well-being. But when people don't choose you, that's helpful information because it shows you how you need to respond to them now. When people don't choose you, it's an opportunity for you to release yourself. Release yourself from the expectations that you had on the relationship. To release yourself from expecting the way that you entreat others for that person to entreat you the same way. So it helps you to obliterate the expectation of reciprocity, which is a radical act of sacred abundance. It helps you to release the expectation of synergy, to know that this person is not aligned with you. So why am I going to continue try to coerce you into being into a healthy relationship with me? Being in a relationship with me is a privilege, and it's also consensual. I'm not going to force myself on anyone. And so I'm so happy and grateful that I have learned to observe when people don't choose me, to respond to their lack of choosing me, and to release that connection. So I want you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't deserve that treatment. You only expected a certain level of behavior from them because there was a lot of yapping, a lot of lip service, a lot of perpetrating about how deeply you were connected, but it was one-sided that whole time.
Why are we trying to be in spaces with people we know don't like us? People will show you, if you pay attention, that they don't actually like you. You have to pay attention. So there's little things that people will do if you don't already know. They are very microaggressive. They are constantly throwing shade at you and throwing shots at you every time you're even in their space. They disagree with everything you say. They purposely leave you out of plans. They want you to feel left out. They are constantly disagreeing with you. Everything you say, they disagree with. The one a lot of people miss, they start copying you. They start copying things you do, but never give you credit for it. So if you see that, why are you trying to be in the same space as them? Why are we doing this in 2025? We know better than this. Like, you need to stay away from them. This is something I'm teaching my 16-year-old daughter, but there's grown-ups who don't know this. If I see somebody in person, right, I know they don't like me, I let them know that I know that you don't like me. I don't go out of my way to have conversation with them. If it's a work-related thing, I say hi, and that's it. I move along. I'm not standing there talking to you. I'm not holding a conversation with you. I'm not asking you how are you doing and how your kids doing. Yeah, I don't care, because I know you don't like me. You wouldn't do that for me. So why would I do that? Why would I embarrass myself? A lot of times people still try to be in other people's space that they know don't really fuck with them. I think that comes from people pleasing. I'm not sure. I'm not a therapist. I need you to think about yourself when it comes to things like that. I need you to protect your own space, protect your own peace. Put yourself first in situations like that. Don't stop worrying about what other people might think and what they might say to somebody else. Who cares? You know that person don't like you. Why are you trying to be around them? In my opinion, I think that's kind of dangerous, putting yourself around people you know don't really fuck with you. That's crazy. You're possibly putting yourself in danger. Okay? I need us to really practice self-care. That's a part of self-care. Stay away from folks who don't mess with you. Stay away from them. Okay? All right.
People with a history of never being chosen to be a part of anything will always jump at the first opportunity that they have to feel included, whether it's good or bad, whether it's hurtful or not. And the conversation goes deeper than race. It spills into, body weight, height, socioeconomic backgrounds. So unfortunately, we cannot expect everyone to be on the right side of a situation, because for so long their opinion didn't really matter. And for so long they were counted out and they were ignored and they were looked over. But now that's changed. They finally have the opportunity to be on stage, whether it's in a negative or positive light. They just want to be on stage. And while that's actually more sad than anything, I don't think that's ever going to change within society. When you've been starving for so long, you'll eat anything, right?
Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I am glad that these ladies touched up on the fact that it's not just about romantic relationship, but it's also about friendships and even, being in the workplace. It could also be with family members as well. We are human beings at the end of the day, and to deny ourselves this connection that we know we need, and to ignore the fact that we need those type of connection is to lie to ourselves, is to do ourselves a disservice. Yes, we live in a time right now where, social media, people are extremely disconnected. Friendships are not even a real thing anymore. Relationships are just so hard. So people are suffering in silence, and we can debate with the whole, men and women and how, weaponizing competence, more women are choosing to be single. Men are women's apex predators. Yes, that is very true. That is a fact, actually. But at the end of the day, we are still human, and we need to support each other on that journey, because a lot of us are young. We're in our 20s. Some people are in their 30s, and they've made that decision where they don't want to be with a man anymore. They don't want to be in a relationship. They've cut their families off. So it's going to be hard, and we just need to be here supporting each other. So with that being said, go ahead and drop in the comment section your thoughts on this video. Share your story. I will see you guys in the next one. And share it with somebody who needs to hear this message. Bye.